I'm going to be replacing the forks on my VF500F mini scepter, and this is one of the old ones. This is going to be one of the quote new ones that goes on. Not that the old ones are bad outside of the seals, but the circlip got stuck in mine. I've been absolutely unable to get it out even through drilling it. I've kind of ruined them, lost my patience. Figured I'm going to buy some new used ones and try those out while I try to repair the other one, so at least it's not totally out of commission. However, while I had it off, I mean, why not, lay the whole thing out, explain what all the parts are inside. If for nothing else, it'll be useful for me when I do these two, because might not remember, because I like to drink. These forks are actually all right. I would rebuild these today, except I'm planning on repainting the fork sliders, so I'm going to do a half-assed job of reassembling this one just to try to make sense of this whole thing. So what we've got here is on the end is two nuts. The axle will fit in here. It's just these two nuts that hold on the axle. And you can get away on a lot of parts on a motorcycle without a torque wrench, and maybe you could do it with these if you have the right feel. But these are really important to actually torque down correctly, because under-torquing them and you run the risk of your axle falling off. Over-torquing them, you run the risk of breaking off one of these two bolts. Break off one of those bolts, you've at least tossed this entire part, and you've made a world of hurt for yourself. So we've got slider, tube, spring. This is the seal components, and this is the dampener rod. This is the last piece that comes out, so this will be the first piece that goes back in. I've already put on back on these two piston seals here. These are the only parts that aren't on it. I had to restart because I just pricked myself because I put it in the wrong way. And so we're going to put the rebound spring on, and that will sit on the bottom there. And one of these little retaining rings, which are a massive pain in the ass, because I just shot one across the room and ended up finding it. Well, I thought I went across the room. I actually went over there. There used to be a big ass pile of sawdust under this. I had to bring out the shop vac and ended up finding it miraculously. So there's going to be two of these. This is going to be the first of those two. And this is where I probably will hurt myself again. Okay, snap ring one on. Then I need this seat to go in. So once that snap ring's in, this washer, this seat, won't go any further. And the spring. And this guy. So, right there. Gives the dampening rod a little bit of movement. And I will put this last retaining ring on. Let's see if we might get lucky. Might get lucky. Nope, not that lucky. Come on. Yes, okay. There it is. Now, this dampening rod is held all the way on the bottom. When you're taking this thing apart, this Allen bolt is what threads into here. This will stick all the way through to the bottom. That's where the dampening rod's going to go through to. And this is what secures it. Basically, this is holding the whole damn thing together. So I don't need this part yet, but I call it part of the dampening rod because that's what it connects to. Now, the only thing I've noticed that's different between the forks that I bought, which were said to be for an '84 Honda Interceptor, and the forks that I have, and they both read MF2003 Showa shocks, is that this is the cap on the ones that I bought. Oh, no, sorry. This is the one off the one that I originally had. And if you take this off, there's a place you can put an air pump on and actually put a bunch of air pressure on the top to probably change, the behavior of it. This one, the new one, doesn't have that. Now, I don't know which is stock or which is not. According to that manual, it actually shouldn't have that pneumatic thing on the top. So this may have been aftermarket from the previous owner. I'm not the previous owner. I have no idea who is. But I have had this bike since I was 16 or 17, so it's been a long time, considering I'm almost 31 now. And I've never done these forks, so it's about goddamn time. The dampener rod is going to need to go... Did I just do this fucking whole thing wrong again? God damn it. I gotta put the rod through and then put the assembly on the top. Fucking hell. Now that I've corrected my mistake, let's continue on. Need to put the dampening rod through the tube first. Spring is still inside of there. That rebound spring is in there. Then all those pieces sit right here. So the big difficult part about getting this apart is going to be next. I put this bushing on. That bushing goes all the way down. Then I put this washer over it. This gives a big nice seat for the seal. This is going to fit all the way through, motherfucker, through the slider. Come down to the bottom. This might take a couple tries. No, it's right there. Right there. Okay. The next, I'm just going to use the old one because it's going to fit. I pretty much destroyed this. You basically have to destroy these things to get them out. What you want is this, there's an open end on here. And this really doesn't have the open part. This open part with the fork fluid in it, it'll expand it outward and create a tighter seal. So this side needs to go down like that. So this is going to go over the top, and this always isn't easy. This is where you might want to get a seal driver. Now you can use an old fork seal to do this. Put the old one over the top, and I'm going to see if I have something to drive this. I usually use... You should get a dedicated set. I'm going to get a dedicated set before I do this one. I'm going to try to drive this one home with some PVC so that I can put the rest of the pieces on. Mainly, the last piece we need is this circlip to go over it, right there, and that will hold everything in, and this fork tube can't come out of the slider, and that holds everything in place. Okay, so tube coming through the slider. Tube has the bushing on it already. Then we will put this washer over the top, and then we need the fork seal. Now the fork seal has two sides. It is asymmetrical. This side with the big opening here needs to go out because as it fills with pressure, it's going to push the outsides more to hold that pressure in. Okay. This is where you want a dedicated seal driver. Since I don't have one for this set, I'm going to get one before I do these. I'm going to use this piece of PVC to oh no, I'm not. Son of a bitch. I don't know if I have the right size PVC to go over this fork and drive this seal home. Now a trick a lot of people use is to use an old seal, put it around, lightly tap around the outside. You need to get it down far enough so that you can put this circlip in its ridge, and then it holds the whole assembly together. Okay, what about bigger PVC? This is 1.5 inches. This actually, I know I've used this before because this is what I used on my Yamaha FCR 600. Oh, actually, now I think about it, I softened the edge with the duct tape there. So let's try it that way. I don't need it, which is why I'm being particularly nasty with it. Okay, circlip again. These are all the parts and frustrations you don't get in the normal videos. Because this is what you're actually going to experience when you do this. Tons of frustration. Okay, that's in. Dust seal over the top. Boom! Then the spring. Alright, the tightly wound end on the bottom. It has a progressional dampening on it. So that is how you want it. Like that. Okay? That works. Now I can put that Allen bolt in. Hold this thing together. Come over here. I don't know why the fuck I just took this whole thing back apart. That was really stupid of me. Granted, I do a lot of stupid things, but add that one to the list. Okay. That's bit and... Okay, that'll hold. Now on the top. Now we just need that cap. So, that cap. Alright, this is where you would fill the fork oil. I'm not going to, I'm just doing just putting it back together. That has been a fucking disaster video. Don't watch this. Don't do what I'm doing, because this hasn't worked. Alright, it's size 24, if you were curious. Okay, you go right there. Come on, just sit on it. Be nice. Okay, it's not under pressure at this point. This little ring, this is important. It actually doesn't go on yet. I'm going to put it on. This keeps it on the handlebars. And it fits in to this ridge right there. It'll fit there. I lied, it'll fit on this. Oh no, it is the top one. Looking at the one that I was sent. Anyway, I know it doesn't have to go on at this point yet. So, the last part of this shock, just so I have it all in one complete piece, is the axle holder. And I started this video with good intentions. I thought it might be useful. And it's instead turned into a comedy of errors, which happens every time I touch a fork. So, if you actually watch that whole thing, I'm sorry. Because you probably would have been better off not watching it. But there it is, an assembled fork for a 1984 Honda Mini Scepter.